Back on the 1968 SS Chevelle project, there's going to be replacing the vacuum brake booster first off behind the master cylinder there, and also to install a new fuel sender and pickup because the other one isn't registering on the gauge. It's probably the original one from 1968. The windshield wiper motor was removed, and it has a plate there which you need to take off to get to the 4 bolts that hold the booster on. One of the bolts broke off when we're taking that off. That was removed, and here's the windshield wiper motor that was removed, and we'll be putting it back after cleaning it up a bit. Works fine. Cut off some bolts with the cut-off wheel on the new booster, just to give a little more room so that the studs are cut down so that we can get our hands in there to put the booster on the 4 studs on the firewall. As you can see, the old one used rivets. It worked fine, just didn't look as good. I'm going to clean it up after it's removed with some drill with some wire brush. These are 3 of the 4 nuts that fasten the booster to the firewall. As you can see, that's a electronic fuel injection system, throttle body injection. Okay, here it's installed partly, but it's not yet secured. It can be tricky to get the back 4 nuts on, but it is doable if you're ambidextrous enough. You can see we still have the place for the windshield wiper motor off and the mounting plate for it, which was necessary to be able to get back in where the 4 nuts mount on the studs. Takes some ability to hold the nuts on so you don't drop them. So I'm using some chewing gum to affix it and put it on the end of the wrench. There's where the studs are, where you have to put those on. The push rod that comes out to engage the master cylinder, there's actually 2 sizes. One's short, one's long. I needed to put the longer one in. The short one was default. So there's where it goes. Just disconnected the master cylinder there. Here's the original sending unit. That extra hole was drilled there for a pipe to act as a return line for the fuel injection. The sender there was corroded. Now here is the new one on, and I soldered the new one into place, the extra return line for fuel injection. That saves about $600 for a tank, custom type tank. This is just using the original. And the battery's relocated to the trunk, and a relay is used to drive a low pressure fuel pump that just comes off the tank. Here with the fuel tank removed is the low pressure fuel pump, electric fuel pump, that pumps the fuel at low pressure to a reservoir in the front. The reservoir is down there to the left, that kind of dark plastic reservoir. It's off a Ford pickup truck. And there's the high pressure pump, which is regulated down to about 15 psi. And there's the filter. And here's a sensor for the gauge that reads out the fuel pressure. There's the fuel pressure in the center, and a vacuum turbo boost gauge on the right. So it's all working now.